This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, Taieri College is given the green light to rebuild a hall damaged by fire, a rebuild which also signals improvements. The leader of a global spiritual movement visits town to mark the anniversary of its introduction to the Western world. And we'll find out why repairs to vandalism at a local cemetery are expected to be cheaper than first thought. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. Taieri College staff and pupils are celebrating the news that their school hall will be rebuilt after suffering fire damage. Hislop Hall was engulfed in flames last November, leading to the destruction of thousands of dollars worth of property. And the new facility is expected to be better than before.
Locking the door on a burnt-out burden. Taieri College's principal is saying goodbye to fire-damaged Hislop Hall that has plagued school grounds for nearly 6 months.
We finally got the email from the Ministry of Education and the email has told us that they're going to demolish our hall and give us something new, which is the exciting news we're waiting to hear. So it took a while, but it's here now.
A fire tore through the hall, destroying school property and burning out the building last November. The blaze was a result of an electrical fault. It's been a 5-month wait for staff and pupils to hear news about the facility's fate. The government's approved their preferred option of a completely new structure rather than a patch-up job.
I understand they want to demolish it sooner than later, so there'll be 2 parts of the job. The first will be the demolition. The roof is asbestos, so asbestos removal takes its own challenges. So demolition first, and that will be in the short to medium term.
School staff and board members will be consulted during the design process, so a modern facility is crafted to their needs. The new hall's likely to cost around $2 million. It's welcoming news for the school community, which has been coping without the asset for nearly 6 months.
It will be multi-purpose, I think, is all I would say. So it will be tending towards music, arts, drama, as well as an assembly sort of building as well. So
the project is still in the early stages and school staff are waiting to hear more news on associated dates, costs and designs. Annabelle Dick, 39 Dunedin News.
A ministerial report into the recent Castle Street balcony collapse is not expected to be made public for at least a couple of weeks. The balcony of a student flat collapsed on the 4th of March when it was reportedly overloaded. 18 people were hurt, including 2 teenagers who are still recovering from serious injuries. It happened during a spontaneous 660 concert. Building Minister Nick Smith ordered a report into whether the structure met building code standards. That was due at the end of March, but there's no sign of it. A spokeswoman says the minister is awaiting further test results. A high-ranking leader within the Hare Krishna movement is visiting Dunedin. He's travelling the globe to celebrate 50 years since the spiritual practice was introduced to the Western world, and he's sharing his own unique journey from Marine to monk.
Cultivating spirituality. These Hare Krishnas are gathered at the movement's local centre to celebrate the presence of a world leader. The American monk is on a global tour and is thrilled to be sharing his passion with Dunedin residents.
Our movement is actually very old. It's an ancient tradition. It's over 5,000 years old, but it came from India to the West in 1965.
He's a former US Marine who took up arms during the Vietnam War.
But it was a very difficult experience because I lost many of my friends. Actually, my whole football team joined the United States Marines, but I stayed back for special weapons training, and all my friends shipped off to Vietnam, and they all passed away with actually a month or something.
That prompted some soul searching, and he embraced the Hare Krishna movement after studying various religions.
And I gave up my violent way of life. I mean, sometimes violence is required for protection, but I felt more like a monk than I did a warrior. So I gave up my gun for my meditation beads.
Dunedin has about 100 full-time Hare Krishnas, but a much wider part of the community is engaged with the movement. About 300 tertiary students are fed by members every day, and the centre hosts a range of activities and events open to all residents.
I've added up the number of students that we've fed over the last 20 years, and I think it comes to 750,000. And many of them still write to me from all over the world, so I guess you could say we've got an extended family as well.
She says having such a long-standing and high-profile leader visit is a true blessing. It's his third time to Dunedin and he's hoping to return, but for now China and Russia await. Rosie Mannins, 39, Dunedin News.
New research shows joint replacement surgery in Otago is getting harder to schedule, with demand outstripping capacity. Hundreds of people referred for hip and knee replacements have been sent back to their GPs, only to be re-referred for surgery at a later date. The problem has been highlighted in a report by a Dunedin Hospital orthopaedic surgeon and a researcher at the University of Otago. They say local demand for joint replacements has been increasing over the last 4 years, but capacity has not. That means patients waiting to qualify for surgery are experiencing more problems. Many people are being told they should consider private care at their own cost. An investigation into vandalism at West Taieri Cemetery has produced a silver lining for affected residents. Repairs aren't going to set family members back as much as initially thought, and caretakers are sharing tips for avoiding future desecration.
Investigating trouble from beyond the grave. The Dunedin City Council has been looking into an attack on the West Taieri Cemetery, where several headstones were desecrated. A subsequent report states the damage isn't as bad as first thought.
There was an initial assessment last week, but we've done some further assessments subsequently this week. And investigations from that have led us to believe that in terms of the amount of vandalism is not as much as was originally reported.
7 headstones were damaged by vandals. Initially, a dozen monuments were reported to have been affected, but an investigation has found some were broken beforehand. The cost of repairs and replacement was expected to exceed tens of thousands of dollars, but the DCC estimates about $4,500 will cover damage.
The majority of the damage, except one headstone which needs replaced, all the others have essentially been pushed over, and some of those that have been pushed over have fractured into pieces, but they are all fixable.
Police and contractors are involved in an ongoing investigation into the crime. Meanwhile, the council's urging residents to pin down gravestones to help prevent such vandalism in the future.
Pinning of headstones is one way to not necessarily negate vandalism, but it does make it a more difficult challenge or proposition for people to vandalise those headstones. So that's always one consideration that family members can look into if they are concerned about their own respective family headstones.
Police are urging anyone with information on the damage to report it. Annabelle Dick, 39, Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, we take a look at what's on offer in this year's Marariki Festival, and the culinary efforts of some third-year students prove popular with consumers.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
Oui, tu vas voir Marjolaine et d'accord, ok.
New Zealand Beeswax Limited are the quintessential beeswax, woodware and beekeeping suppliers. From the amateur beekeeper to the commercial operator, New Zealand Beeswax Limited has the quantity to meet your needs. For great prices, great service New Zealand-wide, contact New Zealand Beeswax Limited on 03 693 9189 or visit www.beeswax.co.nz.
Pallet fires are growing in popularity in Otago, with people who want a clean and efficient form of home heating. The sight of a burning flame without the problems of chopping, stacking and carting wood around is a winner. Pallet fires, so easy, so efficient.
Grandad loved his family, and surfing, in that order. He taught me to surf, and we spent a lot of time in the water together over the years. When he died, I strapped the camera to the nose of his old board and filmed the paddle out at St. Clair. Gillian's played the video on the big screen at his funeral. Grandad would have loved having everyone come out one last surf with him.
Gillian's Funeral Services, helping families celebrate the lives of their loved ones for generations. Gillians.co.nz.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 15 years. New doors, replacement doors, repairs and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team at 553 Kaikoura Valley Road. Visit www.garrador.co.nz or call us on 488 5676.
Mosgiel Mowers Plus can help you with products to make your garden maintenance jobs easier. Lawn mowers, ride-ons, chainsaws, line trimmers. Sales and service are our specialty. Mosgiel Mowers Plus. Phone 489 3572 22B Gordon Road, Mosgiel.
The team at Caltex North care more about you than just putting fuel in your tank. They care about you and your family. At the Caltex Valley Workshop, the skilled service team care about your safety, extending the life of your car and helping you live more economically. There's a range of modern equipment to give comprehensive warrant of fitness checks and servicing to your vehicle. Come visit your only local in North East Valley and receive 10% off when you book your warrant and service together. That's your friendly Caltex Valley Workshop, 134 North Road, or book online at caltexvalley.co.nz.
For professional, reliable and approachable service where your dream kitchen design can become an affordable reality, contact the team at Kitchens for Less. Call 455 9973 or visit us online.
Ecrotech Limited have been supplying beekeeping equipment and honey products in New Zealand for over 100 years. A specialist manufacturer of hiveware and plastic products for the beekeeping industry. They are the leading supplier of beekeeping equipment nationwide. For all your beekeeping needs, visit ecrotech.co.nz or call 0800 117766.
Welcome back. Strong building growth in Otago is driving up national consent figures. There was a 35% jump overall in the number of new dwellings approved in February compared to the same month last year. That's the highest level of activity for that period in more than a decade. Otago is one of the top growth regions, with Dunedin dwelling consents for February more than 4 times the previous month. 50 new homes were approved, by far the highest monthly number in at least a year. Nationwide, February consents were valued at $1.4 billion. And on that positive note, let's take a look at today's markets. And the NZX 50 has closed the day down 44 points. It's now at 6,708. The Nikkei has tumbled 467 points. And to the exchange rates, the Kiwi dollar is up very slightly against the pound, but we do finish the week down against the other currencies we follow. A variety of cultural events are being planned for this year's Puaka Matariki Festival. It marks the Maori New Year, and residents are being encouraged to get involved in acknowledging the importance of community. Organiser Anthony Deaker is here to tell us more. Good evening.
Good evening, Rebecca.
What is the significance of the timing of Maori New Year?
Well, traditionally this was the ending of a year and the starting of a year around the rising of Matariki, the constellation known as Pleiades, and also Puaka, the star known as Rigel. So they would come up, and Maori had a cunning calendar. They ran from moon to moon, and because that would only give you 340 days, they had a little bit in between, which was from the rising of those stars to the next new moon. And so it's almost, it's great that we're here today on April Fool's Day, because in some respects that period between the rising of the stars and the new moon was the equivalent of April Fool's in the traditional Maori calendar. Anything went. You can play jokes, you can hang out, be naughty, and it was a time of sort of frivolity and fun.
And that was how they traditionally celebrated it?
Well, it's hard to say anything definitive, because iwi to iwi, region to region was different. Some iwi followed Matariki and some iwi followed Puaka, and traditions were different. But so the festival that we've got today is a blending of old ideas, and some of those are carried forward. So down here in Ngaitahu territory, this was really known as the wānanga season, the time of learning and workshops. Obviously it was cold in the middle of winter, and mostly people came home to the coastal villages. There wasn't too much roaming through the hinterlands in search of food. And so people stayed close to the fire, and they told stories, they passed down knowledge, they had family meetings, they discussed the year that's been and the year that's gone. So that's the idea of the wānanga season is one of the things that is traditional down here that's come forward.
How would you like residents to get involved this year?
Well, at the moment we're open for anybody's ideas, and we're encouraging people to bring ideas forward. Typically, organisations like Marae and school and kindies host community type events, and those events are wonderful. They are really open door, and they've been growing every year for those schools and the Marae that host them. And they'll often include shared food, storytellers, performance, lantern parades are popular. So we're open to all ideas, and we welcome participants.
What kind of things are you planning at this stage?
Well, we run 3 programs in the one festival. We've got those community celebrations like we were just discussing. We've got public programs which fits with that idea of the wānanga season. So we run workshops, we run displays, and we have open floor discussions about issues and ideas, which is really a traditional wānanga. And it's also it's Dunedin's Festival of Māori Art, and over this festival we have got some amazing stuff coming. There's this short theatre, a season of Māori theatre. There's some amazing exhibitions coming. There's quite a few contemporary dance pieces and other traditional performance work throughout, and there'll be a big concert, we hope, in the town hall on one of the shortest nights.
Puaka Matariki Festival organiser Anthony Deaker, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, good quality food made from cheap ingredients is proving to be a sellout success for local students, and we'll take a look at the results of this week's online poll.
Sir Bob Charles, New Zealand's greatest golfer and still going strong.
I'm sure that Sportsville was a contributing factor to my success, and I'll continue to use it.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville, a product so good he puts his name to it.
Well, I believe Sportsville helps maintain your quality of life.
Now being used by active men and women globally to support strength and mobility.
It works for me.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville in the new all-black pack. Call now for the Sportsville special, 0800 502 402.
Ecro Tech Limited have been supplying beekeeping equipment and honey products in New Zealand for over 100 years. A specialist manufacturer of hiveware and plastic products for the beekeeping industry. They are the leading supplier of beekeeping equipment nationwide. For all your beekeeping needs, visit ecrotech.co.nz or call 0800 117766.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Mobility scooters Otago. Mobility scooters, new and used, electric manual wheelchairs, strollers and walkers. Free home demonstration and delivery. Call Tony on 03 455 2875 or visit our showroom, 211 Canudwood Street, opposite Westpac.
The team at Caltex North care more about you than just putting fuel in your tank. They care about you and your family. At the Caltex Valley Workshop, the skilled service team care about your safety, extending the life of your car and helping you live more economically. There's a range of modern equipment to give comprehensive warrant of fitness checks and servicing to your vehicle. Come visit your only local in North East Valley and receive 10% off when you book your warrant and service together. That's your friendly Caltex Valley Workshop, 134 North Road, or book online at caltexvalley.co.nz.
New Zealand Beeswax Limited are the quintessential beeswax, woodware and beekeeping suppliers. From the amateur beekeeper to the commercial operator, New Zealand Beeswax Limited has the quantity to meet your needs. For great prices, great service New Zealand-wide, contact New Zealand Beeswax Limited on 03 693 9189 or visit www.beeswax.co.nz.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's generally not a job that we can't get a door out and in a day.
It's important to make sure you get a good design because you're going to be in it for the rest of your life.
There's no schemes that are wrong when it's a personal choice thing, but some do look better than others.
Here's something else to look forward to sinking your teeth into every weekend with the Otago Daily Times, the Weekend Mix, your guide to what's hot in fashion, entertainment, food and more. New weekend magazine in your ODT. Pick up your copy this Saturday.
Welcome back. A class of Otago Polytechnic students are on a mission to create high-quality food from low-value ingredients. They've been giving a second life to more than 200 kilograms of cherries and other donated fruit. And with several sell-out markets under their belts, they're striking a chord with consumers.
Sampling sustainable fare. Otago Polytechnic's culinary arts students have been hard at work creating a raft of products made from typically forgotten produce. They're selling their handmade products on campus as a way to capitalise on Eden Cafe's decision to stop using disposable coffee cups earlier this year.
As people have learnt about the initial change with the coffee cups, we have now moved on and actually taken it to the next level where we're actually doing products that tie in with the actual values.
The students have been using around 1/4 of a tonne of donated low-grade fruit to help create a range of preserves. Third-year scholar Alice Joblin Mills says at first the task of making quality products with the ingredients was challenging, but over time more ideas sprang up.
So you use cherries to make cherry jam, right? But there's cherry juice left, so we developed fruit leathers and cherry molasses, and so it's about using the whole, although we did get the cherries for a very low price, or some of the fruit was free. It's about using the whole fruit, and so there's no wastage.
The leftover cherry pits will be used in wheat bags, while nectarine kernels are set to be made into vinegar. All of the students' products have been selling at a weekly market on campus alongside other food stalls run by their peers. Mackenzie says it's been reassuring to have so many people keen to try and buy what they've worked hard to make.
It's been amazing. Like Artisan, they sell up within the first hour, and we still have a turnover of about $800 every week ourselves, which is really good. And we have a continuous sale because all of our stuff is actually on the shelf for sale during the week and will be after the markets are finished.
The packaging also has sustainability in mind, with a closed-loop model allowing customers to return glass and receive a free tea or coffee at Eden Cafe. In turn, that's allowing these guys to reuse jars and bottles for future products, helping reduce waste on campus even further. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Easter is over, but the conversation around commercial trading during the holiday continues. Almost all shops must close on Good Friday and Easter Sunday, but some retailers can open and others flout the law at the risk of a fine. This week's 39 Dunedin News online poll asked you if you felt the shops should be allowed to open over Easter. 58% of you are in favour of that, 42% of you are not. Daylight saving ends this weekend, boo-hoo, when clocks are turned back an hour on Sunday morning. It means a bit of extra sleep, but less light during the day throughout winter. Next week's 39 Dunedin News online poll asks, do you like daylight saving or should it be scrapped altogether? You can vote at our website dunedintv.co.nz. And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. Staff and students at Taieri College are welcoming the news their fire-damaged hall will be demolished and replaced with a better facility. One of the top Hare Krishna leaders is visiting Dunedin on a world tour, celebrating the movement's 50 years in the Western world. And investigators have found that recent vandalism at West Taieri Cemetery won't cost as much to repair as initially thought. It's time now to find out what's going to be inside the pages of Saturday's Otago Daily Times, and Deputy Editor Craig Page joins us. Good evening.
Good evening, Rebecca. Yeah, we're having a look at road fatalities on Southern Regions roads. Of course, a fatality up the Waitaki Way just early yesterday morning takes it to 12 for the first quarter of this year, which is up 70% for the same time last year. It's really causing concern amongst police and of course the families who are directly involved in these fatalities as well. Fortunately, it's speed, alcohol and lack of seatbelts, which are again causing concerns, and there's nothing new in that, but police are going to be targeting those aspects and hitting drivers pretty hard to try and get those figures down. So we've also the weekend mix, a second part of our series looking at Otago Harbour. Had some great feedback after last week's edition. This week we're looking at the people of the harbour, those that work on it, such as Port Otago people and marine biologists, through to those who use it recreationally as well, so they're all telling us what a great asset it is to the city. And of course tonight the Highlanders playing the Force, trying to keep their winning run intact, and we'll have full coverage of that tomorrow as well.
Absolutely. Good luck to them. That's tomorrow's ODT. Thanks, Craig. Time now for local weather.
This weather report proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn Sportsville.
And here is today's City View is taken of a seagull going somewhere. Around the city at 3 o'clock today, Central City and the Gardens both recorded 18 degrees, 20 for the Taieri. Looking at the situation, and a trough of low pressure is moving over the country now. It's weakening as it does so. The northerly airflow will continue. A weak cold front will move over us on Sunday. Well, to the forecast for the main towns in the lower South Island for tomorrow. Nor'westers and becoming fine for Invercargill, Gore and Te Anau. A bit of high cloud around in Alexandra with nor'westers and a high of 18. And nor'westers with high cloud for Queenstown, Oamaru and Wanaka. Brief rain for Twizel with nor'westers and a high of 18. In Dunedin tonight, high cloud with a low of 12. Tomorrow we can expect a period of rain at first, and it will become mostly fine with moderate northerlies and a high of 18. And on Sunday, an early southwest change will produce a few brief showers, but it will become fine later in the day with a high of 14. Gosh, washing day. I'm not even going to comment today. Finally, to the Otago Pallet Flyers tidal and fishing information. High tide tomorrow morning is at 18 past 11. Low tide on Sunday morning is at 20 to 7. And fishing conditions are a mixed bag this weekend. They're reasonable on Saturday at around 8 AM, but no good for Sunday. And that is all from the team here at 39 Dunedin News for this week. We will leave you now with some shots from the week that was. We'll see you again on Monday. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.